When I talk about the world's most polluted cities, which cities come to your mind? A South Asian city, some town in the Mediterranean region, or perhaps one located in the African continent? But it's none of these. It is the city that never sleeps, New York. Dense smoke from Canadian wildfires is coating an amber-colored hue on New York's skyline. This has caused the pollution level to rise to such an extent that leaving behind India's New Delhi and Iraq's Baghdad as well. New York has topped the list of most polluted cities in the world. In fact, it's not just New York. More than a dozen states in US have been put under air quality alerts.
I feel very bad. At times I can't breathe. Yeah, it make breathing difficult. Yeah. I even scheduled for a road test for driving, for my driving license today, and it was cancelled. Yeah, I feel very sad.
When I came outside yesterday, so I could barely see without these things, and I didn't have them on. And I said to my children, I'm like, is it me? Or is it really foggy out here? Because it was that bad that I thought my eyesight was something wrong with my eyesight. They're like, no, it's foggy out. So it's actually better today than it was yesterday.
From Vermont to South Carolina, as well as Ohio and Kansas in the Midwest, warnings have been issued. Health authorities have said fine matter and particulate matter could exceed unhealthy levels in the region, making even breathing a difficult task. People have been urged to limit outdoor activities as well, while those with respiratory issues were advised to wear a mask.
The biggest hazard is to the younger populations, especially ones that their lungs are developing. So you have a child that may have a respiratory condition, an infant, 1-2-year-old. That's particularly serious because you could impair their respiratory development, and you don't want to do that.
The smoke is coming from US northern border with Canada, which is currently experiencing its worst ever wildfire season. Situation is so intense that there are fires in nearly all of Canada's 10 provinces and territories. Persistent warm and dry conditions are to blame for the disaster. The conditions are equally bad on this side of the border as well, towards the US. The air quality in Canada's capital city of Ottawa remained in category 10 plus, which is a very high risk category. Over 3.3 million hectares of land have already been burnt. It is 13 times the 10-year average. This has caused more than 120,000 people to flee out of their homes. All right, for more on this, we are being joined by our correspondent Susan Tehrani from New York. Susan, what's the situation there, and how do you feel being out and about?
Yeah, the situation is very bad. We've never seen anything like this. People are comparing the smell to burnt toast, or you might feel really as you're standing outside that a building nearby is completely on fire. On the one hand, really, authorities have asked everyone to stay inside, but specifically children, the elderly, and those with respiratory and heart disease. And while you're standing outside, I understand why that is. I don't know if you can see the fog that's behind me.
Yes.
That's not just regular fog.
Yes,
that's
is visible.
Smoke hovering over the city. And then, and then here you can see that it's not very clear. And I'm standing really on a pretty usually crowded avenue here in New York, but you don't see many people outside. And I think that's why when I talked to one doctor, he said that he hasn't seen really an increase in the number of ER patients because even when he was going to work, there just aren't that many people outside. They're really staying home. Last night when I was doing, again, a piece for our network, the minute I came out, my eyes started watering. I felt nauseous afterwards and started coughing uncontrollably. People are wearing masks, even double masks. But, it's yet to be seen how effective really that will be considering where we are right now. And we've been told that this is the situation until as far as Friday. So,
it's a tough week.
It's difficult to be outside, and it's noticeable for sure.
Right. Also, what kind of precautions have been advised by doctors or officials?
Yeah, you know, usually when the pollution levels are even just a bit high, it's children and then the elderly, those with respiratory and heart disease. But it's very uncommon for doctors and also health officials from the government to really tell everyone to stay indoors. But the problem is the smoke is so potent that even in apartment buildings in Manhattan, you can clearly smell it. If you can't see it, but you can clearly smell it. So, you know, they said double mask if you need to go out, don't go out if it's not necessary, stay indoors. And for the most part, people are doing that. But then there are really places that are so polluted that they also feel the smoke indoors as well.
Right. I'll leave you, Susan. You can wear your mask now. It's going to be a tough week for you, I guess. This is Susan Tehrani joining us from New York.